You like any of those?
And we're live.
Wow, no way.
What's going on, dude?
What up, my brother?
How's it feel?
Yo, we here, bro.
My bro.
Hell's yeah.
My
Yes,
bro.
sir.
Yeah, this is awesome,
Hey, what
man.
up, everybody?
Really happy to be here today. Welcome, everybody, to the Daybreak Podcast, episode 2. Today, our guest is Charlie, the Guice Mann, one and only. Yeah.
Hi.
So, for those of you who don't know who Guice Mann is an artist and a musician from Cleveland, Ohio here. Me and Guice Mann met. We were both vending at a show at 78th Street Studios, and we just started. He had some clothes up that he had screen printed, and we just kind of started talking about shirts and clothes and printing and whatever, and just kind of became buddies ever since. And yeah, so here we are in the studio. You want to tell us a little bit about this studio, where we are?
Yeah, for sure. Wow, grateful to be here. Stoked. Yeah, we've been talking about this for a little bit, and glad we were able to finally get it scheduled in together here. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for having me. Stoked to be on a podcast. We are at my studio here downtown Cleveland, and we're in Midtown area, so we're kind of near Cleveland State's campus and not far from Asia Town. This is 21st and Superior at the Tower Press Artist Lofts. So this whole first floor of this building is mainly artist studios, and everyone here on the first floor, we're all artists basically. Yeah. The second, it's 3 floors. The second and third floors are, more luxurious, like more expensive spaces. Oh, okay. And you don't really have to be an artist to live there.
I got you. Yeah.
So, we submit portfolios and whatnot to.
Yeah, I remember you telling me. I remember you telling me that you had to submit your portfolio and whatnot, and I know they do like lots of shows here, like and stuff like that. So
yeah. There's a gallery like in the front of the building, and called the Wooltex Gallery. They did just have a group show there recently. I was not involved because honestly, I just didn't have time to do another show.
Yeah.
But that's been a cool feature of living here.
I know you've been pretty busy, like out vending and whatnot. It's just hard, to do. It's hard sometimes to do it to pass up opportunities and whatnot. Like I didn't really get into. I know, and we just had an Ingenuity Fest, and I just didn't really have the opportunity to get in there and do that event. But
same, yeah. Basically, that was my same place I was in. Like I went. A friend of mine named Paige had a really dope installation she did, and then Eric Blank Easel was posted up there. I know.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of homies were vending there actually.
Yeah, it was a really good event. Ingenuity, they do that whole team over there. They do a really good job. I had a lot of fun. It's a huge venue over there.
Wait, what day did you go?
We went Saturday night.
Okay, I was there Friday.
Yeah,
we missed each other.
We went Saturday night, and I just felt bad for like a lot of vendors up on the 3rd floor. It was like hot up there, man. It was cooking up there. I don't think we're really. I mean, it's been unseasonably warm for us here. In late September. Yeah.
Right, so, October, what is it, the 4th, 5th, or something?
Yeah, now it's like, I don't even know, October 3rd or something.
Right.
But yeah,
it's still like really a summer day, October 5th.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was a cool event. It was cool to go see the friends and whatnot. And they always got a lot of cool stuff going on at Ingenuity, lots of interesting installations and whatnot. So something fun to go to, just to get out of the house, go walk around, go see some cool people and whatnot. They had a lot of stages there. They had like 4, or I think I.
Oh yeah, all the music there. So many musicians packed in that 3-day event. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it was a lot of stages, and which I don't know. I think it's good and bad. I think if I was a musician there, I'd be a little bit maybe bummed out that there was 4 stages, just because it's like if you're playing, there's like 3 other stages to draw people's attention, and you're not necessarily the center of attention. But I think that's just Ingenuity, just trying to get as many people in there as they can and put on, who are they're trying to put on an event and have something for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, real quick, we're just going to do our ad read. This episode of the Daybreak Podcast is brought to you by Daybreak Enterprises. Headquartered in sunny Cleveland, Ohio, Daybreak is a custom apparel company specializing in screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, and custom tie-dyed apparel. From beer league softball jerseys, event apparel, to large corporate accounts, Daybreak has solutions for everybody. Are you or your organization interested in getting some new apparel made? Head over to Daybreak Enterprises, CLE.com today to browse their portfolio and get inspiration for your next project. Again, that's Daybreak Enterprises, CLE.com to get started on your next custom apparel project. Well, yeah, so we got our little introduction. You told us about Tower Press here, and why don't you, for the audience, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, who is Guice Mann? Where did you come from? Where did it all start? I have a little bit of an idea, but I don't know the whole story. So. Yeah, tell us about your upbringing, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, sounds good. Well, I grew up in Euclid, Ohio, east of Cleveland here, and my parents still live on the east side of Cleveland in Willowick. So lived in Euclid till about fifth grade, and we moved to Willowick, where my parents currently still live. We moved to that house because my dad's aunt at the time needed people to care after her, and we kind of moved in with her, and my mom and dad took care of her. Yeah. And eventually she passed and stuff, and then we just stayed there, and that's where I lived basically till went to art school briefly, and then I'm sure we'll circle back around to that, and then dropped out and lived with my parents for an extended 8 years, and then moved downtown here where I've been for almost 6 years. Yeah. So I guess that's talking on living spaces, but me and my brother grew up together. My brother John, also incredible artist, illustrator. He's a professor of illustration in Laguna Beach now. Him and his wife just moved to Laguna, and he teaches at the Laguna College of Design. Yeah, Laguna Beach College of Design, basically. And they just moved there within the last couple of months. So we grew up. We're 4 years apart, so we kind of grew up drawing together, creating together, playing together. We watched pro wrestling, every pay-per-view in the 90s, sports together, video games, playing Super Mario N64, skating together, skateboarding, so kind of grew up.
The American dream, dude.
Exactly, right? Tony Hawk's pro skater, we had a very deep connection just early on as kids, and that's continued, to the present. I'm 32 and he's 36 or 37. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that and speaking on art, he is one of my main influences actually in starting to create and starting to get more deeper into the art life. When I was in middle school and he was in ninth grade, 10th grade, I saw him painting and making these really dope canvases, and he was in a punk band, and he dyed his hair and wore tight jeans and just was a punk rocker, and skating and stuff, so was my first big early influence.
Yeah.
Into the gateway into being oh, yo, I want to paint some canvas. Yo, I want to start doing some cartoons, or and he hit me to a lot of dope music and stuff, so yeah. Yeah, man. That's a little background, I guess.
Yeah.
And I kind of we as kids just drew together, so we from the jump, I can remember just doing drawings with markers and whatnot in middle school, and really was into art since I was a kid.
Yeah, that kind of you kind of touched on it a lot. I was just gonna ask about when did the art, when did you start making art, right? Because everybody, I feel like most people have an appreciation for art, but there's definitely a point in time where you kind of take that leap and you go buy some art supplies, or your parents get you some art supplies, or in school, your teachers can tell that your art teachers can tell you're really into it, and they kind of take you under their wing. My art journey, whatever the hell you want to call it, didn't really start until after. It didn't get serious until even maybe in college. I was taking some art classes and whatnot, and then after college I basically started, I was more into the music scene first or whatever, but art was kind of always there for me. It was always kind of in the background. It sounds like you kind of grew up with it in a sense, like with your brother and whatnot. And so when did you start kind of thinking you wanted to try to like sell paintings and kind of like monetize it a little bit and like whatnot, or did it kind of all come about kind of naturally?
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, ninth grade, I started selling work because I was painting shoes, like doing custom shoe art for people.
I remember that. Dude,
Yeah.
I remember the girls would have those white Adidas, like the all white Adidas,
Yeah.
like the Adidas Superstars or whatever, and then just like they would just like marker all over them. So yeah, I remember the shoe decorating days. I still do it today.
Right?
Like I bust out a marker and start painting on shoes.
Right? Yeah. So like I started playing around with that in like seventh, eighth. Like I was super into basketball as a kid. Like I wanted to go to the NBA, as like a seventh grader. Like that was every day I was shooting, free throws, practicing my free throws, like practicing all my moves in a driveway. So that was really my like. I was super into sports. Played every sport as a kid. Same with my brother. My parents definitely. I'm sure we'll talk on family stuff and everything, but we have very supportive parents and like, they were at my album release show and helping with choreography and they were part of my show and everything, so like it's been helpful being an artist and just always having my mom and dad are my biggest fans.
Oh my God. Like there's nothing better than like having supportive and loving parents. Like my mom is my biggest fan. Like I know she's going to listen to this, but like seriously, like my mom.
What up, Mom?
You've met my mom.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you've met.
We just seen her at the most recent 78th Street.
Yeah, you've met Mama Daybreak. And
Hell yeah.
She's just like so supportive of like anything that I want to do. Like, and if I'm into it, if she can tell that I'm into it, then she's really supportive of it.
Absolutely.
If she can see that I'm really bought in, and I'm really into it, she's super supportive. My dad's super supportive too. They're just the best people ever. But having that support is just crucial. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so grateful. Yeah. It's huge, man. I feel like I without that, like I wouldn't have as I don't know, as much of a positive spirit, or just like Dave helped me so much along these years, and just like, oh, you're gonna live with us for an extended 8 years. Okay. Yeah. Like they didn't care. They were like just happy I was alive and painting and doing my thing.
Yeah, and I think something I just kind of thought about is like, making art and selling art and doing the kinds of things that we do. It's kind of, you put yourself in a vulnerable position, you kind of put yourself out there, and, having people in your corner to support you, especially your parents, like it just means so much because it makes you feel like less vulnerable, that you have people that are like right there at your side ready to support you. You know what I mean? Like, not even necessarily like, I don't mean like support you financially, because not all parents or whatever, they're not all able to really do that. But, I've been, lucky to have a little bit of that support from my parents, but just having like that reassurance that they believe in what you're doing as much as you believe in it, that's just so huge.
Yeah, it's really beautiful for sure, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
Super grateful.
Did you ever like really? So it sounds like you said you started kind of trying to like sell your services and your artwork like right away. Did you ever really think like? Did you ever really think it would be like something that you would want to do professionally and like full time, or did you think that was like out of reach? Or like, I know you got a lot of stuff going on, and full time is kind of hard to. It's like, what is full time? What's not full time? Some people work 60 hours a week and call it, and some people work 30 hours a week. So, but it's like, did you ever think this is something that you were going to be able to support yourself doing, or did you always know it was going to be like challenging to be able to like really support yourself, like fully selling artwork and selling your services and whatnot?
Wow. It's so hard. Yeah. Like I think back when I was starting, like, I was just doing the shoe, like drawing on my shoes, and like, I had just drew on my basketball shoes initially. And like, then I had my unique basketball shoes I was wearing during the games, that nobody else had, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, when you're a kid, anybody that doesn't know this, like, the shoes are just like everything.
Yeah.
And if you're a kid out there with like your own shoes that are totally customized, like you are the coolest kid. Even if you miss every shot you take, you're still the coolest kid out there.
Yeah, and that's like when I was starting to go by Juice too, like because like Juice came from being a fan of the And One mixtape tour, the basketball players And One.
Yeah.
There was like dude named Hot Sauce, dude named the Professor, Escalade, Skip to My Lou. Like all these players had all these unique names. I was just like a point guard, 4'6", braces, shaved head, and I was just like, I'm gonna start going by Juice.
So you were running the point out there, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
For the Tigers. The Tigers.
Yeah. That's fitting with your red hair too.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So we talked about like the shoes and stuff that you started making. Like, what was some other stuff that you started making? Like when you started making art, like what were some of the first kind of pieces that you were making?
I have a couple. I actually have a few of my first paintings here in the space somewhere. I'll have to show you before you leave.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're at the moment because I'm in the process of like moving and everything's everywhere. But they were just paintings on like small 8x10s, and they the character I painted was called Brainhead. It was just like a monster, and his brain was exposed. Like there was that Cartoon Network show.
Yeah, he's got a brain for a head.
Yeah. Yes.
Brainhead.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I did one black and white and I did one color, and it was just like with like minimal colors. And I remember those being my first paintings, and I've held on to them for a while because I was just like, wow, I'll have these hanging in my house someday,
Yeah.
I never sold them.
No, I have. Like, I remember some of the first art classes I took were watercolor classes, and I just remember thinking, like, no, I'm just keeping these forever, and
hell yeah,
I'm gonna put them up in my first apartment.
That's so sick.
Yeah, but that's cool, man.
Yeah.
What were some of the like mediums that you were using at first? I know you mostly work with acrylics and whatnot, but has there ever been? I mean, acrylics are just so great because there's such high opacity, and the color accuracy is really good, and they're super vibrant. Like so. But are there other like mediums that you've used, like, and worked with?
Yeah, I love acrylic. I love latex house paint. Like that's definitely, a favorite because it covers really nicely too. Like satin, satin latex house paint. That's like probably one of my favorites, especially when I'm painting murals.
I love using house paint.
Oh yeah,
I use it all
you
the
get
time.
Cheap too. Yeah, super cheap.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
can get some funky colors.
Yeah, and then what are like, I know you use a lot of canvas and wood, but is there like other stuff that you've worked on before? And shoes, but like
right.
And now clothes, and we'll get to the clothes for sure. But
this might be a 3-hour episode, y'all.
Just kidding. Seriously. Is there other stuff that you painted on before? I know there's one really big thing that you painted on before that kind of got you a lot of attention. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, the train car.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
talk about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Happy to. Yeah, so I did this train car mural in the Steelyard area, and this was part of a project that the company Midwest Railway Preservation Society was doing. They just had all these extra train cars that were sitting there, and they kind of put a call out to artists, muralists in Cleveland, and just kind of had to hit them up and show them your work, and then you got to choose a train to paint. There was no funding offered. They couldn't afford to pay out anybody really, but you got permission to paint a train, and you weren't going to get arrested, and I just looked at it as an opportunity to explore my murals deeper and to be able to have that big of a canvas to work on. So that's kind of all I was thinking about. I was like, okay, this is going to take a while. I don't know how long it's going to take. There's no deadline. I can just come down here when at my leisure, and like, wow, I get to paint a freaking train car. Like, so I ended up painting the entire thing pretty much. I mean, the nose, both sides, the back, like the top of it. Like, I just went crazy with it for 6 months. I worked on it, and it just was like, this will be a cool portfolio piece. And where it was placed at in the Steelyard was off like Quigley Road, which is a very busy street actually. So, and where the trains were, you could walk. They're like 25 feet off the street, so you could walk right up to them basically. So, and I just put some positive messaging on the side to basically just send good vibes to everyone driving by. And there's a hiking trail above where there's a nice overlooking point of the Steelyard area, and so yeah, I put send peace, send love, and good vibes on the train, and then went crazy with colors. And
That got you a lot of social media attention. Huh?
Yeah, at a certain point, like it just started popping off on Instagram and TikTok, and there was a viral video. Like I got a viral video out of this. Like did not foresee any of this happening. Like couldn't have predicted it. Like yeah, a guy, his name's Callum, who I'm now friends with. We're like the guy that filmed the viral video. We're now like good buds. Nice. And we're collaborators now. He's done now 2 of my music videos actually for my rap album Fries in a Salad. So, but we did not know each other upon him filming this viral video of me, and it did not I didn't know he was gonna post this video because I had other people coming by filming me, and some people would post Insta stories, some people would just come down and take pictures of me. But I mean, you can't really foresee when something's gonna go viral. Like, there's no way of really being able to track that. Like, and It's never happened to me before.
Yeah, like I know that. I remember you telling me like you kind of went viral, doing the train car and everything, and that's kind of like so I've always been really into like street art and whatnot.
Hell yeah.
Now, have you done like a lot of other like kind of street art stuff, like legal and potentially not legal kind of stuff? Or has that been something else that you've done a lot of, or like not so much?
No, I've never really done graffiti. I'm a huge fan. Definitely love it. Love that it coats the atmosphere of Cleveland. It's a major part of Cleveland's city, and just like being from Cleveland, you see the graffiti. You like coming from the east side of Cleveland, driving downtown, to the ball games growing up, to whatever, going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or just going to the Science Center on field trips and stuff. You always see the graffiti on the side, going from, and then even from the west side. It's everywhere, and have been influenced by many artists that were graffiti artists, taggers that became, professional illustrators and gallery painters and, muralists, so, and just being a fan of skating with my brother growing up, that's a big part of skating culture is doing graffiti and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. And the mural thing is pretty awesome because it just like I feel like it makes the city more vibrant.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I like driving around over like on 25th around Ohio City and whatnot, and seeing a lot of the street art. And they're even kind of doing a lot of street art down by if you go down like 25th and Clark there in Little Puerto Rico, they got like lots of awesome street art going on over there.
Oh hell, there's like a really massive,
the huge mural.
It's like, I feel like it's like 40 feet high almost on that whole side of the building.
Yeah, they're doing awesome stuff. And then over by Metro Health, they got a lot
neglecting
of cool
to remember the artists that did that one.
Yeah, street art is, I mean, obviously a huge influence for, I think, both of us.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask on you. I imagine as well. Yeah.
I sort of, when I really like started Daybreak and got serious about it, I was using a lot of markers and whatnot, and
hell yeah,
just drawing things with markers because like I was trying to like draw my own logos and whatnot for the brand. Sorry about that, everybody. Had a little bit of got a phone call there.
We busy guys, we out here, we getting business calls, all day.
Lots of stuff going on. But yeah, so we were talking about street art and whatnot, and for me, I started drawing. I was trying to draw my own logos by hand because I've always been into like, like fonts, and like I didn't want to use like pre-made fonts, even though there's like tons of pre-made fonts that I love. but I wanted to kind of draw my own basically because I just think it's cool. Like now I have all my own logos and everything, and it's like I drew that by hand, and it just really like makes like it makes the makes things really like personal. Like Daybreak is me, and it's like
Yeah.
Daybreak is me, and the logos are like very much a representation of me. They're super simple, right? There's like not a whole lot to it, but even like the DE, and it's so perfect. Like if I tried to draw that 100 times, there's no way I'd be able to get the DE as perfect as it is on that one time that I drew it. And like that CLE you got on your shirt,
Mm-hmm.
like if I tried drawing that 100 times, I wouldn't be able to get it as perfect as it is. And it's just awesome that I managed to get a lot of that stuff done by hand. And
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of trying to like draw stuff with like the big like chisel tip markers and whatnot. And yeah, so yeah, street art, man. Obviously, I think both of us super influenced about by it, but something I did want to ask you about, and I think we've briefly talked about this before, is you mentioned that the train car got you a lot of like social media, a pretty big social media following, a decent amount. It's like over 10K on Instagram, which
Right.
I think it's like I think it was 13K the last time I looked, and that's like a pretty decent chunk of followers. And I guess like my question to you is like, have those followers, all those like 13K followers, like how much have they really like contributed to you being able to like grow what you're doing? And how much of those followers are just like numbers, like at the end of the day?
Right, yeah, exactly. I often ponder like how much is like 6,000 of these bots.
Yeah.
Like, because there's like no way to really tell. I mean,
Yeah.
you can like comb through however long that would take to like look through your following and see. Like, I've wondered about that. I mean, it is authentic. Like, I popped off through this viral video. Cleveland Vibes posted about it. Cleveland Magazine did an article about me. That Spray Planet Instagram account reposted it. I'm from Cleveland reposted it. Like everybody reposted it, and I low key like got basically famous in Cleveland because like to where like people were coming up to me at my place of work.
Wow.
Yo, you're the train car guy. Oh my god, the train car guy. Wait, are you that guy? Are you Juice? Like, what? You work here? Like, it was crazy how like this one video just blasted me off, and like Tori's getting recognized all over the place. Like, I didn't know how to handle it, and it still like is a lot for sure. Like, because like I'll be at work and like people that just follow me on Instagram that are fans just will want to come up to me and talk and just like know, what's next or what are you up to now or like what's going on. You have a show coming up. Like and I'm great. I can only be, of course, grateful, but sometimes it's very overwhelming for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
I just like I always wonder.
So yeah,
yeah.
There's a lot to be said on this kind of thing. What would you wonder?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say like I always wonder about that, because there's been times where I like really obsess over my like social media following
And like numbers, like how many numbers you have and stuff.
and I'm like,
Sure.
I don't have enough. I don't have enough.
Sure.
I need to grow, and do this and do that. Instagram is everything, and Instagram. My success on Instagram is gonna like make or break this business. Oh.
That just might be. I might need to change a battery on that. We'll see what happens here, guys.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just our lighting was being.
Our lighting is flickering on us a little bit. It's okay.
I think even if it did flake off, we still would be decent.
Yeah, we'd be fine.
Yeah,
we'd be fine. We got plenty of light in here. But
I'm pretty addicted to Instagram, and like I'm stuck infinitely using it. Like it's hard. It's really hard not to.
For sure.
Being these artists' business we are, and like it's like. I mean, obviously, you could take a break from it. I could take a break from it and come back, but like at the point I'm at, like I have a solo show coming up. I'm moving out. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. Like, I have this album I'm promoting for Eyes and Out. So it's like, I kind of like can't not be on it continuously. It's hard. It's really, it's hard to detach from. It's like some real blunt honesty. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting because like, I know a girl who is like a social media professional. She like manages accounts and what's not.
Yeah.
Excuse me. She manages accounts and whatnot, and she told me something that like blew my mind. She has an account that has over 100,000 followers on Instagram, and after all of her like analytics are done, she found that only 11,000 of the followers even see the posts that are made.
Right.
That's basically 10% of the followers even see the post when she makes posts on the account.
It's mad weird, right? It's bizarre. I was gonna bring that up because it is like, okay, so say I have 12, 13,000 people following me, like my stories, you know, on average, like maybe 100 people see them or something, or like a post. I don't even understand how all this works totally. Sometimes it's like, oh, like 30 people. And then for some reason, a reel pops off and it's like 5,000 views or something and like 300 likes or something. It's like, it's so weird. And it can be easy to get obsessed with like trying to like have the next post be the big thing or something, or like, or this is going to pop off, right? Or is this one going to pop off? Or how come this really dope piece of art only got like 25 people like engaging with it? Like, it's weird. It really can mess with your brain and like get you like real obsessing about it.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Definitely, it's easy
because you want to connect with. You want your stuff to be seen and for it to connect with people, and then it just gets buried in the feed of the 2,000 people they follow.
Yeah, you want it to be seen by people that have never seen it before.
Exactly,
and you want to grow to a wider audience. And I feel like these algorithms. I don't want to turn this into like a social media conversation.
No, it's all right. I mean, it's a big part of our business.
Yeah, I think it's important to talk about. But I just feel like these algorithms are so like. I mean, I'm just gonna say it like straight up. I feel like it's like the algorithms are obsessed with like sex and like sex appeal.
Sure.
And
oh yeah, I mean yeah.
I mean I've even done experiments. Like I made a video, you know, where I was like painting something in my garage and I like took my shirt off and I was painting it without a shirt on, and that video got like 10 times what any of my other videos got. And it's just like so obvious. It's so obvious that that's like what Instagram is like geared towards. It's just like this giant like, I mean, you even see it too, like in your feeds. Like my feeds are spammed by so much like
all the ads you get and shit, right?
So much like soft core pornography and stuff. Sorry guys, our light is flashing again. I think it's just telling us the battery's low.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So it might die on us at some point.
Just that's okay. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. But yeah. So it's just
we have a lot of light in our souls and our hearts and our third eye.
Yeah, we got plenty of. We're very vibrant and
we're just beaming with
glowing
geometric rainbows right now.
Yeah. No, but I've even had like I had a kid ask me, a fan of my brand or whatever, and a kid that I talked to in the gym, and he even like asked me like, are you gonna use any like girl like influencers like wearing your stuff to try to like grow your brand? And I'm like, well,
interesting.
I mean, probably not, because I care, but I don't really care like that much right now, I guess. And B, I just like, you know, I want people wearing my stuff that want to wear my stuff. You know, like I have my girlfriend, she's like the best thing ever, and like she's always wearing my stuff.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I got friends that are wearing my stuff all around. You know, people need to do a better job tagging me on Instagram.
Tag my boy.
Not tagging me, tagging Daybreak Enterprises.
My boy Daybreak Enterprises. I got you.
But I want people wearing my stuff that want to wear my stuff. I don't need some like 20-year-old girl with like a fat butt wearing it, you know, like, and I'm like paying her all this money. Oh, it looks like our light died. That's okay.
I think it's still looking good though.
It looks good.
Why is there thumbs down?
I have no idea what that was. But I think
your battery looks okay. It's at 72%, by the way.
Oh, we're good. Yeah,
sorry to say that.
Our cameras. We had some technical difficulties, but the camera looks like it's hanging in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I don't need like some like I'm not gonna like pay some like 20-year-old girl in booty shorts to wear my stuff and like just so I can get some more followers on Instagram. And it's just like that's not really like what my brand's all about. I'm about like organic growth. I want people wearing my stuff that want to wear my stuff, and if people don't want to wear my stuff, then they can buy something else. They don't have to wear my stuff.
There's a million brands.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's interesting too, because like I follow a few screen printing shops around the United States, and there's like this one guy that runs a huge shop down in St. Louis, and he's like, man, I can't even tell you the last time I even looked at my Instagram. So it's just like,
yeah, it's funny, right?
Yeah,
they, some businesses exist. They don't need it. They don't really need it, but
yeah. And then there's other businesses that like rely on Instagram.
Yep, exactly.
I feel like we are in the age of, we really do live in like an age where Instagram and Facebook and the internet is the metaverse. There's like there's the real world, and then there's the metaverse, and that's where there's people that have a life on the internet, and they have life in the real world. There's people that don't look at billboards when they're driving down the highway, but they'll look at ads on their Instagram or ads on Facebook, you know what I mean? Or ads on websites, like, so like I look at people paying for these billboards on the highway, and I'm like, God, I would dump all of that money into Instagram ads. I would spend whatever they're spending for these billboards. I would spend $50K or whatever. I put that all on Instagram ads, because I've run Instagram ads before, and they've done well in the sense that they've grown the page or whatever. And
that's what I'm saying. It works. It does work. It basically cons you into the algorithm. The whole thing with the algorithm you were talking about earlier is like, it kind of like where it's at now is like, if you want your stuff to be seen, you kind of have to pay for it. Honestly,
it's like you have,
or it has to be like whatever, a really dope work of art, or like sick reel or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Or sex.
Or like you just said, you're bringing up that topic of sex and like beautiful women and their bodies and whatnot is what is gonna,
like,
for
that's
whatever
what
reason.
My Instagram pages are spam with that. I go on Twitter, and my Twitter is spam with sex. It's like all I ever see on any of this stuff.
Yeah, totally.
But it's because that is what most men, young men, and in the algorithms know that I'm a relatively young man. Like, that's what I would be into, and that's what I want to see. And then the fact of the matter is, I don't care, and I'm kind of annoyed by all of it, because it's just like so in my face, and it's just,
well, there's no way to turn the ads off. There's no way to turn ads off, right?
There's no way to change your algorithm. There's no way.
And that as well too.
I guess there's a way to change your preferences technically.
Okay.
Like, you can go into your settings and you can change the preferences, but I don't know, like, if you can tell it, like, stop sending me videos of 20-year-old girls in booty shorts in the gym. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, like,
I seriously don't care.
Yeah, like, just because maybe you follow some gym pages or some people that go to the gym, or you yourself go to the gym.
I go to the gym and
you
see
post on going to the gym
every time I go to the gym.
Therefore,
anyway,
this is what ends up in your feed. Like,
Yeah, I see chicks exercising in their underwear at the gym every single time I go to the gym. Like, I don't need to be like shoved down my throat on the internet. It drives me insane. But
that's why you got Guice Mann in your feed.
Yeah, I kind of take it. Yeah, I take it for what it's worth, right? I know, like, Instagram's important. Instagram's fun, right? You can have fun with it. I just try to have fun with it.
There's the good and the evil, man. There's yin and yang, man.
I have fun making reels and videos, and I that's kind of just how I look at it, right? Like, I just try to have fun with it, and if it helps my business grow, it helps my business grow. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's just like this podcast, right? Like, this is super fun. Like, we're hanging out and we're just talking and recording, and if it helps both of us grow, it helps us grow. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it's just about trying to, like, have fun and enjoy the process a little bit,
Yeah, I feel like I was gonna say, like, we both have our core tribes that follow us and are super fans of us or big fans, and like, they want to buy our next T-shirt, or they want to come to our next art show, or they're whatever it is, talking on numbers like 12,000 followers or whatever. Okay, a percentage of that, like you were saying, a percentage of that see your stuff. A percentage of that is your true fans, your tribe that, like, is going to be there for you, and they can't wait to see your next post, or can't wait to see your next reel, or just like are stoked to just see what you're up to. Because it's like, me, and I'm sure you, follow many artists and other fellow friends, businesses that you're like so amped to see and support their
Yeah.
continuous posts, and like, oh, what's my brother's next illustration he's about to drop, or what's my cousin Nick's, short that he's putting up some glimpses of the film he's working on up, like, so, and that's what matters, is like those connections with your core people that are supporting you for years, um yeah, all the number stuff is like, yeah, it looks like, oh, this person got 12,000 followers. It's like, just, they're doing amazing, but it's like, nobody's, unless, like you said, like it's some sort of like almost like low key porn, like that's getting all the likes because that's what they're trying to sell to people, None of my posts have ever gotten 11,000 likes from every follower, whatever you say, like every follower, even 5,000. Like, I feel like the most, I don't know, just thinking on like this room I painted in Slavic Village last year that had like whatever 500 something likes or something. This is like one of my top posts, basically. It's funny, yeah. So I don't know. I just kind of wanted to say something on like tribe and your core following, and like your people are going to be there for you. So like, um, and you were speaking on how you have fun making reels and stuff, and same here, me too. Like it's fun throwing together fun video edits and just like being myself. And like, I think I heard you talking on that in your first episode with Katie, right? You were talking about,
Yeah. With Katie from Freebird.
shout outs. What up?
Yeah, Katie's awesome.
Y'all gave me shout out at the free right at the jump. I was like, yo.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. But what were you saying about Katie?
You guys were talking about people enjoy supporting brands and the person behind the brand.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's so freaking true.
Yeah.
Because if it's a dog shit piece of crap human that's behind the brand, which there's plenty of that, and there's plenty of people supporting that, but there's a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't vibe with that.
Yeah,
like,
my mom really kind of like, she's very like knowledgeable when it comes to business and whatnot.
Yeah.
And she kind of, that's something she kind of harked on me. Was like, don't be afraid to inject your personality into your business and into your brand. And the example that I always bring up, and whether you like them or you hate them, the Barstool Sports people, like they've like injected their personalities and they've become like celebrities basically, and they're literally a website. They're a sports gambling website, but then like Dave Portnoy is like this. He's like this celebrity. And like most people probably know about him. They don't even know he runs a sports gambling website. They just know he's like this dude who's always yelling at his employees. And it's like, they just do such a good job, and they always have cameras running, and they're just filming all the shenanigans and crazy stuff happening during the day at work. And I just think that's cool. I think that's like cool, like, because it shows you like, it's like it takes behind the scenes to a whole new level. Like like they took behind, like, we're gonna make some behind the scenes content and just like run with it because people love it. People like seeing that stuff, and the stuff they do over there is hilarious. There's tons of funny stuff that they're recording over there. So yeah, my mom and I have talked about this a lot, where it's like, don't be afraid to let my personality like come through in the business. And like, people tell me all the time that I'm really funny. I think that's like really nice of people to say. I don't understand why necessarily, but like, I guess like if I'm just like trying to like be myself, and like the funny part of myself like comes through, people like that, you know what I mean? Like, and like, um, yeah, so but it's hard for me. It's hard for me. I'm not somebody that likes to draw attention to themselves, right? I don't like intentionally like trying to like draw attention to myself or my brand or my business. I'm kind of like, I kind of take the approach like I said, like, here's my stuff. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, that's cool too. And I'm not trying to shove stuff down people's throat. I'm just trying to be me and kind of do my thing. And if you want to support me,
Yeah, hell yeah, I feel you. Yeah, it is like, yeah, like this thing of just being your authentic self. You know, um, people vibe with that. People enjoy, like you're saying, people enjoy your personality and who you are, and it shines through in your brand that you create and continue to make. And I feel like I fe- I I've teetered. I wouldn't. No one would ever really think I'm a shy person, but I feel like previous versions of me, I wasn't as actively like showing myself and posting a lot of videos of me on Instagram. Like, I don't know. Specifically, probably in like 2019 or something, I just was like posting paintings, and you didn't see as much of me. Maybe you've seen some pictures of me, but I wasn't really putting a lot of videos up.
And sometimes, sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah, I don't
but
care.
sometimes, and you know this as much as
Yeah.
I know this, is that sometimes that's a thing.
Yeah.
The like masked, the like who you like the masked
Yeah, there's
artist,
more mystery.
like the masked guy who's doing this insane art, like,
Yeah.
and then it turns in, and then that like mystery, like Banksy's the obvious example, like
Right.
that turns into like a huge thing. But I don't know, somebody like you have such a huge personality, you have so much love to like put out there to people.
Thanks. Thank you.
And
Thanks.
I wish I had like half of that, but it's just you want to put that part of yourself out there to the world to make people feel better and,
Yeah,
and make people feel good about themselves.
absolutely. So, yeah, I very much, in my case, I'm very much not shy about just posting a weird, goofy ass video of myself, or just like, talking about my next show I got coming up and stuff. Like, I'm so used to doing that now, but I've gone through waves of like feeling more, um, like, oh, I want to isolate, and like I want to be less visible. This has been a while. I'm talking about like I mentioned, 2019, maybe even 2020 a little bit. Like, uh and like back when I was living at my parents' house, like some of the times I was more uh a little more shy.
Yeah, a little more like isolated, or you felt like it was harder to be your authentic self.
Yeah. It's taken time. I feel like that's something I wanted to speak on. Is almost like it's taken time for me to be comfortable. I just being me, I guess.
Yeah, that's no, I really like
Which
that.
is all you ever have to be is yourself. But like, it's like, you know, um, like anybody else, have had my own mental health struggles and stuff, and relationship battles, ups and downs, where sometimes you're in a relationship and you are living as this other augmented version of yourself, and you're not happy with you.
Yeah.
And you know it, and you can sense it, and you feel it a lot, but you're stuck as that augmented version of yourself.
Yeah.
But then you grow and you get out of that, and
Yeah.
you blossom into this other version that was whispering to you and like kind of speaking to you over time, and that was there, but you couldn't access it because you were this other version. I don't know. That's a freaking tangent on a whole other long ass story, but
No, but it
I don't know.
kind of touches on a question I did want to ask. Is
Okay.
like, do you feel like you've come into your own like as an artist? Like, or do you feel like you still have like a lot of growing to do, like as an artist? And or like, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of talked about
Yeah.
starting to come out and really like your true like authentic Guice Mann coming out, and like
Yeah.
how do you feel about it all?
Oh
right
yeah.
now?
I mean, I feel like I've been in some crazy flow state. Not to like speak like so highly, like I'm on top of some kind of pyramid or something, but like it's taken so many years for me to get to where I'm at as an artist. Like I mentioned, I was at my parents for 8 years, just like, and unknown, not really well known, just at my parents, like painting every day. And I worked at a restaurant for 5 years, and had a small following, like, you know, I put in a lot of years, I'd say, to get me to where I'm at currently in the present. And
Yeah. you feel like it kind of sounds like you were touching on it though. You were talking about how you kind of feel like you're coming into your own as an artist,
Yeah.
and like really just like thriving and God, what is the word I'm looking for?
Thriving. Yeah, that's a good word. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's all just coming out, and it's coming out naturally, and it's not forced.
No, yeah, this is just like, these painting. I'm gonna go do a show in a couple weeks. Or Monday, I'm setting up a show at 78th Street, and it's paintings from a couple years, and this big installation that I've been working on for a year, and that was just an idea that was on paper for a while until I like started actively working on it, and it took a year to make that big installation out of wood. It's this portal opening installation. So yeah, that, and then the music stuff, like I never thought it would be rapping again, like that. It was just out of my head. Like rhymes weren't coming to me. Like I've been, just like as a human writing, doing morning pages or whatever, like, working through thoughts on the page, whatever, battling with feelings on relationship stuff, or just like, struggling to just be human, and like whatever struggles I'd be dealing with, I journal. I journal a lot, but even my years of like journaling here, living this space, like I wasn't writing lyrics, like I wasn't rhyming, like, and then all of a sudden I found that again last year and got obsessed with it, and found this other arm of my creativity that like I forgot about and I didn't really know about for a while, and became a whole, like, all these different like pathways that I play on, music, rhyming, murals, fashion, screen printing, painting canvases, like each is like a different path and like a different arm of my creativity, I guess.
It is totally, yeah. I got I have two guitars sitting at me, sitting at me. They're set up. They're staring at me. I just changed the strings on them. Those are just waiting for me to grab them. But that's a whole nother avenue, right? Like that's a whole nother like avenue of creativity, and it's a whole nother rabbit hole that you go down.
Yeah, a whole other different form of expression.
It's a different form of expression. It's 100% correct, and especially when you're writing music and writing lyrics, it's just different.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I think we're both kind of similar in that vein, where like that part of me, that itch to make music again and write music and play guitars and make really loud music, like that part of me is still very much alive. It's just, will it come out? Yeah. Will it come out again? Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
If the time's right and I meet some people that I can work with, then yeah, maybe. But for now, not for now, no. But maybe in the future.
Hell yeah. I feel you.
But I know exactly what you mean as it being like a different, like different form of expression. Why don't you tell us about, like, let's talk about the clothes.
Sure.
Sorry, I just kind of pivoted.
I don't care. No, it don't matter. I just feel like, talking all, we're everywhere,
I'm just trying. I'm trying to hear about the clothes, because I've been sitting here kind of staring at them behind you, and I've known about the clothes I'm wearing.
Representing Juice.
Wearing a piece right now. And when did you decide you wanted to start printing on clothes? I know you talked about the shoes when you were a kid,
right?
But when did you kind of like make that decision? Like, okay, I'm going to start printing on clothes and selling clothes.
Mm-hmm. I feel like even back when I was doing shoes, like I did paint a little bit on clothes too. I had some clothing that I painted, and like I would do shirt designs.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you would print directly on clothes?
Oh, well, I just would paint. I would paint with a brush,
Yeah. So you'd paint directly on the
clothes. Yeah, I use like fabric paint on clothing.
I got you.
I'm talking, back in my like prime of like painting shoes, which I stopped doing shoes in like 2017, 18.
Yeah. Did you have to like hear that paint at all, or you just let it air dry?
On the shoes?
On the clothes. The fabric.
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so I just let it air dry. Yeah. Okay. So like back then.
Wash out?
No, I mean, I was just using like fabric paint for Michaels, just like the standard fabric paint.
Gotcha.
So I painted some clothing before back then, and would like send my designs to a printer to get shirts screen printed. So I have been doing clothing. Like some of the first T-shirts I printed, honestly, were in high school. Like my dad's friend Jay Batong had a printing company on the east side of Cleveland, and like I gave him some of my drawings to print like a hamburger. Like one of my first shirt designs was like a cheeseburger. I've been vegan for 10 years, so it's really funny that was one of my first shirt designs. I did a hamburger T-shirt, and then my second design was like a monster with like 30 eyes, and like a limited run of like 10, and I just made them for my friends and family.
Yeah.
So I'm talking like that was same time, 9th, 10th grade probably. So, but now the present, like actually screen printing myself, got into it last year, summertime last year.
Yeah.
I had a screen my brother burned for me when he was in like undergrad in Columbus at Columbus College of Art and Design. He made me this screen, and it sat in our parents' attic forever, like 12 years, 10, 12 years.
Yeah, that's the great thing about screens is, once you burn them, that emulsion is semi-permanent and it can last a really long time.
Yeah, like, and I knew it was there, but I just like it never like really totally clicked to like, oh, why don't I do some really dope gear with this screen that's been sitting in the attic, So I started playing with it last year because I was doing tie-dye. Did a lot of tie-dye shirts last summer, like my first like official like, I mean, I've played around with tie-dye in the past, but like that was like my first. I got these peace sign shirts printed, and then I dyed them. I didn't print the shirts. This company called Fingerprints Printing in Florida printed them, and then I did the dyes. And then after that, it was just like, damn, like, why don't I get that screen from my parents' house and like start experimenting with that? So, yeah, basically that just within the last year.
Yeah,
and I got obsessed with it basically.
Yeah, and it all kind of started just with T-shirts, or were you doing hoodies right away too?
Shirts and hoodies. And all that stuff. I really wanted to print on a pink hoodie. Like,
yeah, it's my favorite hoodie.
Yo, hell yeah. Yo, hell yeah, thanks.
That's a fan favorite.
Yo, thank you. Yeah, a couple homies, like my friend Paige, like really dope photographer named Drala Darko in Cleveland. She wanted a pink hoodie from me, so I remember making her one of those too early on. And like I love the color pink, so like I made one for myself. I was just rocking the hell out of it. So yeah, so I'm really only a year and a half, whatever, into like screen printing.
Nice. Now, what are some challenges?
3 screens, 3-4 different screens.
Yeah, what are some challenges that you face getting some of this stuff printed? I think I know like what some of them are, but for the audience, like what are some challenges that you run into when it comes to actually getting the stuff produced?
Challenges. I don't know. I mean, where I'm at now is like it's very much an active part of my creativity and my flow as an artist. So like it's very comes natural to me now.
Nice.
Like, it's easy to blast out like 20 T's in a day or something.
Yeah. I just mean like, if there was any like technical challenges with equipment and like limited space.
Yeah, and stuff. Yeah, with screens, yes, for sure. With screens, yeah. I mean, yeah, in the studio I'm at, so like where I'm at, Tower Press here. Yeah, my living room and my kitchen and this main studio area. Like I do all my painting here. I do all my screen printing in here. I've where I'm at currently is I've outgrown the space and I'm moving at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So, and I'm so stoked. Like I'm gonna have so much more space and like be able to have the screen printing area be separate and the painting area be separate and my bedroom and like living room, kitchen's bigger. Like I don't even believe the place that I'm gonna be living at. Like so grateful.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man.
Dude, thank you. Lingering ruminations on other stuff.
Yeah.
Challenges, screens, learning about screens, the different screens, and like, washing them properly.
Yeah.
A couple of screens I've actually goofed up and like ruined because I didn't wash them properly.
Yeah.
So it's been a learning curve for sure, and just like, the inks that some of the inks work differently.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, because there's different inks, right? There's water-based inks. You got water-based inks. You have
plastisol, right?
Plastisol, which is what Daybreak prints with. We only print with plastisol. We don't use any water-based inks.
Hell yeah, nice.
There's discharge inks. Like there's a whole slew of different inks, and then you got to learn like well, how do you cure this?
Yeah, curing process, right? Yeah.
How do you cure this? How do you cure that? And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I've noticed you do a lot of like or you do with the iron. You're curing by hand with an iron.
Yeah, I'm pretty nuts. Like each shirt in piece I make is with an iron. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how I do it right now. You know.
Yeah, and having like a conveyor dryer, like a traditional shop.
Yeah.
Probably be able to get that stuff cured pretty quickly.
Yeah, you've mentioned that to me. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's awesome, man.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, so
I'm eager to keep playing with it. And like I heard you and Katie talking about sewing.
Like cut and sew.
Yeah, and I love. I have a couple friends, Becky and Oriana, actually, that do a lot of sewing, and
I think it's so cool.
I'll have to show you some of their work because
the cut and sew stuff that these people are doing nowadays is just unbelievable.
Oh, I know, insane, right? Yeah.
For those of you that don't know what cut and sew is, that's like when you're buying like old clothing from various locations, thrift stores or whatever. I mean, you can buy retail stuff too, and cutting it up and then sewing like one part of a shirt to another part of a shirt and making it look pretty cool. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff. You got one up there.
Yeah, this is my friend Becky made this actually.
Yeah.
Shout out to Becky.
Yeah, so this is Juice is showing us a rainbow shirt here that was cut and sewn together into a rainbow.
Earth Show World is her.
Yeah, so those are all different shirts that were pieced together one piece at a time to make one piece of apparel. That's a killer shirt, dude.
Yo, I seen it on her rack and I was like, yo,
see that.
check it out. It's so well done.
Yeah, she did a really good job with that.
Right? So
and these seams aren't like super chunky either. You would think like, God, if I did this,
it's like perfect.
Yeah, the seams would be terrible. Yeah, I love this kind
of stuff. Earth Show World is her Instagram, Becky.
I love this kind of stuff.
I can link you her Instagram, but I just want to hype her up. Yeah. I have definitely wanted to grab one of her pieces.
That is super cool.
She came and vended at my album release party and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah, I've seen that on her rack. I'm like, I need to buy that. Like that belongs on me.
Yeah,
so tight. So I respect the hell out of people. I'm like, yo, I want to start messing with some of that because like that'd be sick to. I mean, piece is incredible by itself.
Yeah.
But if you think of just like a simple thing of like sewing two different shirts together,
and
then printing on top of that, that's sick as fuck, right?
Yeah, it's really sick. Yeah. Do you feel like now that
Can you swear on here?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, sick.
I don't care. I don't think there's any kids.
You know, I realized I intentionally didn't swear like at all on my album.
Mom and Daybreak's not gonna like the swearing, but
and I understood that. I just learned that piss is an actual swear word in regards to FCC regulations.
Oh, really?
Because I was on the radio interview the other day, and she was like, "Oh, actually, piss off is considered a swear word. But if you said ass is actually not a swear word."
That's crazy.
And I was just like, "What?"
Yeah, I know they're super serious about certain words.
Right. No, I know, right? It's weird, right? Yeah.
With the clothing and everything, it's just something I was like wondering and thinking about. Like, I know people can't really see this, but like you have a ton of artwork in this studio, like tons and tons of artwork that's printed on canvas and wood and various things. And then behind us, we have all your clothes that you printed. Do you feel like now that you've started to like print and sell clothes, you've been able to get a lot more of your product out there to people? Do you feel like you're actually like making more sales as far as like selling more Guice Mann product?
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like this year, I really have packed it in like crazy vending. Like this has been my busiest year as a vendor. Like, especially once summer hit, I had something almost every weekend. So like, of course, earlier in the year was a little slower, but that gave me time to just make product and work on stuff, you know?
Yeah. I've always been like super into the idea of like wearable art.
Same. Absolutely. Yeah.
And that term can be like super pretentious a lot of times because you have people saying like that they're selling wearable art. And it's like, come on, it's like it's a t-shirt with something printed on it.
Sure.
But I really do feel like, I've always been really into my whole life, ever since I was a kid, been really into like really big prints on shirts, like all over prints and stuff. I remember I had this shirt for years. It was like a big oversized print, and it was like a girl's face, and then I was wearing that shirt until it was like literally falling apart. And remember my mom hated it. She's like, "You ever gonna throw that shirt away?" And I'm just like, "No."
That's funny as hell.
Yeah, but I've always really been into like all over printing, and that's what I think I was so drawn to your stuff,
dude. Thank you.
at the beginnings, because I've always been like really into like all over prints and oversized prints, and it's hard to do because it's hard to do because clothing's not like a flat stock. It's not like a flat piece of paper. It's not like a flat canvas. It's there's seams, there's bumps, there's collars, there's all kinds of stuff, freaking zippers,
Right.
It's not easy to do like all over printing, or it's not easy to do what you're doing. It's challenging.
Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate the love. Yeah, I've gotten the hang of it. And like you just said, they are like unique. Each one's like a painting basically because they all come out differently. So, but I feel you. As a kid too, I was like, yo, I used to go to Gabriel Brothers, and they had like really dope gear from like skate companies and just like these brands that you would never have access to otherwise.
Yeah.
Like for whatever reason, this company Gabriel Brothers existed, and like they had all this streetwear that was like you're talking about all over print stuff. Like I had this really sick like it was like bright yellow and had black triangle patterning all over it, like oversized like XXL shirt in like 10th grade. It was huge.
Yeah, and it's like you're wearing like a piece of artwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is kind of like that interesting like divide between just like a regular graphic T-shirt and like a piece of wearable art, And I don't know necessarily like where that divide comes in. A band, my favorite band ever, Radiohead.
Hell yeah.
They've always been very much like an art rock kind of band.
Mm-hmm.
And like Tom York, their front man, went to art school and everything. And their merch has always kind of blurred the line between just like graphic tees and wearable art. And they do a lot of all over printing on their band merch and stuff like that.
Dude, that's funny you brought them up because I bought a freaking Radiohead shirt at Gabriel Brothers, where I'm talking about. Wore it for the longest time before I even knew who Radiohead was. Like,
oh yeah, exactly. Their stuff is.
It was just sick. It was like a dope illustration.
Yeah.
Like kind of black and white and minimal color. There's a little bit of color blotches, and like it was just really dope.
It's kind of trippy.
Yeah.
That I brought that up.
Yeah, yeah. And like
it just goes to show like where our headspace kind of is. Like it's like why we're such good friends and why we're doing this interview. It's like we kind of like are on a very similar kind of
similar waves, man. Yeah.
Well, let's kind of talk. Let's talk about Guice Mann the rapper, dude. Tell us about Guice Mann the rapper. I know you briefly touched on it. Like you started writing again.
Right.
I know I started to see like little clips of you like rapping over some beats and whatnot. But what made you kind of like decide to take the leap and to get an album recorded? So Guice Mann, tell us about your album. Tell us whatever you want to tell us.
Sure, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. I have a 28-track rap album out there right now called Fries in a Salad, streaming everywhere. And I have CDs as well, and they'll be on my shop eventually. I still haven't been able to carve out time to just take pictures and post those. But they're available when I vend. This project kind of came out of nowhere for me, honestly. Like, I like earlier I mentioned I really didn't expect to be rhyming and like laying down raps again. Like where I left off rapping was back in 2013 with an album that I wasn't happy with and I wasn't super well mentally at the time and just was dealing with some like self-hate and like not totally loving what I was recording and making music about and like all that old stuff isn't even out there, but just like, I don't know. I just felt like saying something on that. Cause I stopped at a certain point, but I was super into it from like not each night, even early in high school, I was like rapping and making dumb songs about food, and like had influences of like from Wesley Willis who made these songs with his keyboard and they would just be like, cut the mullet, cut the mullet. It would be like a repeats, he would say like the same thing and then he'd have like these random like almost like spoken word shit. I don't know. And then this other artist Daniel Johnson, so I had these, I don't know, so I felt like saying something on my past lyrical self because I left doing raps like at a point where I just like I didn't like what I was making and I wasn't super well. So I had to stop doing it. But I kept making beats for like 10 years. Like, so I have all these I have 21 instrumental albums out there.
Oh wow.
Of just beats and soundscapes and instrumentals that I just kept making.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you work?
Just was using GarageBand and FL Studio as well. Yeah.
There you go.
So those are all titled Sounds from My Head, Volume 1 through 21. And it really just tracks me like for 10 years, like my growth as a beat maker, basically.
Yeah, so
which is fucking kind of crazy. Yeah.
So Fries in a Salad, that you produced that whole album yourself.
So basically, my homie Unknown Phrases, who my buddy Mario, he mixed, master, recorded me at his studio, Somos Desconocido, and that's not far from here. He produced 7 tracks. My homie J-Rad, he produced a track called Frog Leap. He produced one, and then all the other beats are my beats. So yeah, most of it's produced by me, but the actual mixing, mastering, added production behind the scenes, Unknown Phrases. The sound, how I sound on there, it's all his sound design, you know, and like
you really
his skill set and that.
You need that. You need someone who's like specialized.
Oh yeah, and like, you know, it's really incredible studio, super comfy, and he's been in a music game like since I think he was in like freshman in high school.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
awesome. Do you have like some shows coming up promoting Fries in a Salad?
I do. Yeah. Yes. What is it? October's? Yeah, I have a show coming up. November 13th at Dunlop's, and that's kind of off Clark Fulton over there. My homie Bucklands will be coming through for that from Columbus. He does house music, and I believe my friend Sean Doyle will be playing with us. Yeah, so I have a date set, but I'm actually honestly still waiting to hear back an email like from the booker and stuff. So that's supposed to happen, and then actually I'll be performing at 78th Street in my gallery space. Actually,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, so that'll be like sort of intertwined with your gallery space. Now that's a temporary gallery space, like you're doing like a residency or whatever there.
Basically,
for a
like
while.
Basically rented the space in Gallery 215 for 3 months for October, November, December. So I'll be showing for the third Fridays, and I have a separate like private. I mean, it's public, you know. November 22nd from like 6 to 9. It's a Friday. I'll be performing some Fries in a Salad. Yeah. And then do like a talk, you know, or like a Q&A, or like just like talk about the paintings and stuff, you know.
Yeah, so we'll try to get all that stuff linked in the description of this video. That way everyone can kind of like follow along and find you where you're going to be, you know.
Hell yeah, appreciate it. That's called Chaos Leprechaun Wizard is the solo show name.
Okay, cool.
So that'll be up for 3 months. So where everyone usually sees me for vending in the basement, I'll be in a gallery space on the second floor. So I'll have my clothing. So I'll have fresh clothing with me like every month. And then some of the paintings will rotate, but it'll mainly stay the same show for 3 months.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
thanks. Thank you, bro.
Anyone that's listening, I mean, I'm sitting here in Juice's studio, and it's just like full of like really awesome artwork.
Yo, thanks, bro.
And we were kind of like digging through a lot of it earlier and talking about getting it up and displayed and whatnot, and I'm just really excited for you to get this like solo show and get this residency in, so you can get your stuff in front of the right kind of people, and just
thank you, man.
Hopefully try to move some
I know, right? Yeah, I'm sitting on
some of it and make some room, dude. You got like this place is full.
Yeah.
But I guess kind of like one of our last questions here is basically about like what does Guice Mann do when he's not painting or making clothes? Like, you're such a busy guy. Is there like anything else you kind of like doing to kind of unwind and enjoy yourself?
Great freaking question, man. I'd be struggling with it because I am this like infinite being of creation right now, and like it's hard for me to turn it off. Like, I'll be laying in my bed and I have ideas that pop, or a color scheme, or like something that I wanted to finish, 5 things I didn't finish today that I want to like keep working on. I just have to force myself to lay in bed and like listen to a guided meditation, listen to a yoga nidra, and just like calm my ass down, because I just stay energized and boosted, and like have realized, obviously, clearly this is why I'm on this planet. Like, I'm supposed to be creating and making this art and like helping all I can with my art and my creativity, however little it helps amidst the travesties that continue to happen on this planet. I still maintain my positive spirit and know what my work is to do and what I can control and help with, and bring some rainbows to the planet. So I I stay like on the grind creating, it's hard for me not to,
It is
because I love
hard.
it. I'm so driven out of bed to do all this. Like, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I've been like on my computer.
it's hard to pause.
I was like on my computer, like working on this sticker design,
Hell yeah.
and I was like, in my mind, it was like I was doing it in my free time, and I was like, no, this is like you're definitely like, this is work. Like this
Yeah.
is like you're working on something, and then it kind of clicked in my head that sometimes free time and business time kind of just there's no difference between the two. It's kind
Yeah.
of like, and I get that, man. Like
Yeah.
when I'm laying in bed, I make sure like you hear stories about like old musicians and artists keeping a notebook next to the bed,
Yeah.
and nowadays we have iPhones with notepads, and I can't tell you how many times I'll be laying there trying to fall asleep, and I'll think of some, and then I'll grab my phone and throw it into the notepad on my iPhone, and
Mhm.
so I totally get it. It's like sometimes it is hard to turn it off, and
Right.
then there's always two like you get those like creativity droughts where you just like there are periods of time where you're not really feeling that creative, so that the times you are feeling really creative, you want to just kind of like ride that as much as you can and
Yeah.
get all that stuff out there. So
Right. Basically,
so
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, like it doesn't turn off. Like I'm at my day job, like I'm always thinking about art, So it is. I think you talked about like being a professional artist, or like you spoke on like a question earlier on that, like um, like how much time does this take up or something? And it's just like, oh, it's infinite. I'm infinitely speaking on like the full time artist life, like. Oh, I am a full time artist infinitely. I also have my job that supports me, my health insurance job that like keeps me afloat through droughts, and there are droughts financially with the art life. Some months are better than others.
Yeah, it's
You
wild,
don't always
man.
have consistent work coming in or sales. We were talking on online sales off camera, and like the ups and downs of that, as opposed to vending in person, and like um, and some vending events are good, and some are BS, and you lose all your money on vendor fee, and you don't make any money, but you get to connect with people. I don't know. So we probably could save more of that for a second episode. Yeah,
Absolutely. Well, the kind
we're
of
probably wrapping up here. It sounds
yeah, I think we've had like a really good
like.
conversation.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Trying to keep it under 2 hours.
Yeah.
I don't really
Oh, yeah.
know how long. I can't see.
Probably like hour 20, hour 30.
I can't really see
almost.
from here, but so I think we've touched on a lot of really awesome topics for
yeah.
Guice Mann Part 1.
Thanks.
Next year we'll run it back, or
Yeah, dude.
and have
I'll be in a new space.
maybe next summer we'll do something once you're in your new space, and
I'm down. Yeah.
and we'll get something recorded in there. Well, something fun I like to do
Cool.
at the end of the episode is the would you rather questions.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so these are
Let's freaking go.
Yeah, we're gonna do 3 would you rather questions. So I guess number 1 would you rather is hoodies or crew neck sweatshirts.
Ooh. To wear or print on?
To wear.
Hoodies all day, baby.
Hoodies.
How about you?
Hoodies all day.
Yeah, right?
Dude. I don't own a crew neck sweatshirt. I never want to print on crew neck sweatshirts.
Interesting. The audience demands it. So many people want crew necks.
So many girls want them.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
You ladies out there, you're always asking us for crew necks.
Yep.
They're cool, and I understand
it.
Girls got like the hair and stuff, so sometimes the hood can mess up their hair, and
yep.
I don't have that problem. But yeah, hoodies, man. God, all throughout high school, I would live in a hoodie with the hood up, and the teachers
all day,
just like
all freaking day, baby.
On my, about putting my hood down. I just was like, man, I became known as like the kid who always had a hood up.
Little John, put your hood up.
Yeah,
put your hood up.
All right, so next, would you rather?
Love that question.
These are coming right off the top of my head.
Okay.
So, canvas or wood? Painting on canvas or painting on wood?
Wow. Hard question, because we spoke on it earlier, and I was like, we were talking on how much we both enjoy painting on wood. Man, I almost want to say it depends on the season, or I don't know. It depends on like where I'm at or like what I'm going for.
No, you gotta pick one or the other.
Fucking hell.
That's not how this works, bro. This is a would you rather.
Because there's such a different feel between both, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
Like this canvas I'm looking at, which nobody can see.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Like it would have a different effect on wood. It wouldn't be the same.
No, it wouldn't.
You know. Thank you for the love, man. Dude, I'm going canvas right now in this moment.
It's all right.
Based on looking at that canvas, and I really love it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's a really good one.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I could show it to the audience.
I'm gonna go with wood.
How about you, brother? Sorry, it's not all about me.
No, it's cool. I'm gonna go with wood. We were talking about this off camera. This painting. Yeah, you can't go back there. No, other way, buddy.
What?
Go over. Wait, yeah, you're right. You got.
You can just kind of see it.
Yeah.
Just a sneak preview of what will be in the show.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm big on wood, painting on wood. We talked about this off camera before the episode. I've been doing a lot of stuff on wood. I don't have the space, the studio space,
right.
Which is an insane thing to say because I live in a house with a garage.
Right. You want to live? You want to take my space?
No. I would love to, but no.
I know. I feel you.
So I need to get like more of a space to actually like work on my paintings and stuff.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna go with wood for the time being.
Love it.
All right, so the third one that I thought of just now is a nice big, because you're a vegan, so a nice big awesome salad or a nice big awesome bowl of soup.
Salad. Yeah, how about you?
Definitely soup.
Okay.
I almost never eat salad.
Oh, really?
Unless I'm at an Italian restaurant, then I'll eat a salad.
I'd be such a fraud if I didn't say salad with my album Fries and a Salad.
Fries and a Salad.
I didn't even eat Fries and Salad.
Yeah, Fries and a Salad streaming everywhere.
Thank y'all very much. Absolutely. Check it out.
But yeah, man, I think
soup's good. I love making a nice miso soup, though, like a vegan miso soup.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of ramen lately.
Ramen? Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll just buy the instant ramens, but then just add all my own stuff into it.
Oh, I love that.
Vegetables, meat. Yeah. Well, I think this was a really good episode.
Yo, this was amazing. Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Oh, man, I had a freaking blast. But I figured this was going to go as good as it.
Yeah.
We got some podcasting gold out here. Some freaking magic, my God.
I thought it was good. I thought we touched on a lot of things. We touched on some interesting topics like different forms of expression between music and painting and clothes. You know, we talked on the struggles of social media and what exactly social media means to us and our businesses. Well, you know, so I think it was a really good time. You know,
yeah, man, I had a blast. Yeah.
So why don't you
very chill? Just felt like hanging out. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and just shout out anything that you feel like you need to shout out?
Word. Okay.
Just to get it in here, and then like I said, anything that Juice shouts out here, we'll make sure we get it in the description of the podcast and description of the video.
Wow, I appreciate it. Well, I mentioned this guy earlier named Callum, who was the guy that filmed that viral video of me. We've become friends since then because. So I meant to mention part of that was that he just moved to Rhode Island like 3 weeks before filming that video. Just moved from Rhode Island to Cleveland before filming that video of me. So like that was like his intro to Cleveland was catching this guy, me, dancing on a train car and paint like that was like, and we didn't know each other. Like real talk, honest, on all my dead relatives' graves. Like we did not know each other. So none of that shit was like planned or mapped out. Some people were like, oh, you somehow staged that, right? Like you knew that guy. I'm like, nah, like no, but we do now. And through that video, like we become good friends and he's helped me with some music videos. So we have another music video about to drop called it's for my track called Smiles. Smiles produced by Unknown Phrases, and we filmed it right here with the black and white backdrop that used to be here, which I've painted over because I'm moving out, so I have to repaint. But we filmed a really dope music video here in my space, and I wanted to do that before moving out of here. You know, just like get like a really sick shoot in. I got several shoots in, but that was a video we got to shoot, and he just started kind of doing music videos with me. Like this is his second music video, and he's like amazing. He's a photographer, but he's a really great videographer as well. So excited to drop that. That'll be coming out within the next couple weeks. Yeah.
And then we already talked about the shows and everything,
Right.
and we're gonna get all that stuff in the description.
That was just one little main thing I just want to mention. Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, dude.
Yo, bro, dude, my guy Kyle. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for having me, bro.
Thought we had an awesome
grateful.
episode.
We've gotten to meet and connect and become friends through just being. Yeah, we met in the vending scene at 78.
Community, man.
Yeah, and thanks for doing this podcast because, I feel like I just can't wait to hear all the episodes you have and who you interview next. Looking forward to hearing you and Eric chop it up.
Yeah, Eric.
Shout out to the glasses right here.
Big shout out to Eric.
Blank Easel.
Yeah.
What up, my bro?
Big shout out to Eric from Blank Easel.
Yes, sir.
He's an awesome guy. We're gonna get him on the podcast here pretty soon.
I'll just love your work as well, bro. So keep going and keep crushing it. Happy to freaking rock your gear.
I think I think the future's bright for us.
Yes, sir.
Have a lot of awesome times. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah.
This was episode 2 of the Daybreak Podcast.
Sending love, sending good vibes.
Yeah. We'll catch everybody later. Peace out.
Yeah. Peace. Yeah. Wow, crushed it, bro. That was nasty. Wow.